Hui Chinese written in the Arabic script is actually so trippy. Throughout Chinese history, there's been two major Muslim ethnic groups. First, there's the Turkic-speaking groups historically called Shanhui, and so like an example of them today would be the Uyghur people in Xinjiang. But then there's a separate group historically called Hanhui who we're going to focus on today. Han means Chinese, so these are ethnically Chinese Muslims who speak Chinese languages. Nowadays, they're often just called Hui people. Anyway, for hundreds of years, they wrote their variety of Chinese with the Arabic script, specifically a form based off of written Persian. And this is kind of crazy because the Arabic script is really not a great script for writing Chinese. Firstly, Chinese languages just have a lot of sounds for which there's no character in the Arabic script. And then vowels are super important for distinguishing words in Chinese, but standard Arabic doesn't even write vowels, much less the tones of vowels, which are also super important for distinguishing words in Chinese. There's different varieties of Chinese spoken by different Hui people, but for pretty much all of them, these are pretty salient problems. So the Persian Arabic-based script Xiao'erjing has some pretty interesting modifications. First off, to distinguish unaspirated and aspirated stops like ba and pa, they do something kind of similar to what the Latin-based pinyin system does. They'll just use the voiced Arabic characters for the unaspirated stops and then the voiceless ones for the aspirated ones. And then they use Persian characters plus some diacritics to fill out some of the missing places of articulation. But then the vowels are kind of where it gets crazy. Because they're so important to Chinese, it's not like Arabic where you have the option not to write them. Writing systems where you have the option not to write vowels are often called abjads, but Xiao'erjing is essentially an entirely different type of writing system. Because it has such complex vowel diacritics that you have to attach to the consonants, it's essentially an abugida, kind of like the script used to write Hindi. But here's the craziest part in my opinion. There's certain words, often religious words, that are written in the original Arabic but then read in Chinese. Kind of like how in Japan they'll write Chinese characters but then read them as Japanese words. But it's weird because it's not like a logogram, like you could sound out the word but you're not supposed to. It'd be like in English if we wrote the name Saint Patrick in a sentence but then we read it as like Holy Patrick. Nowadays the script isn't really used anymore, but in some parts of Russia, Hui Muslims will use the Cyrillic script. But that's probably a topic for another video.